Hey guys, Chancey here. I'm just gonna go over Retribution spec DPS for just a minute. Now basically you have 3 cooldowns to focus on. You want to save them for boss fights, etc. Times you really need to put out more damage. First one is Guardian of Ancient Kings, because all you have to do is cast it and forget it. It attacks whatever you're attacking, so it's no big deal. Second one is Avenging Wrath. It enables you to use a Hammer of Wrath every 6 seconds for 20 seconds, and it also increases all damage you output by 20%. So it's a pretty big cooldown. It's just unfortunate you gotta wait 2 minutes in between uses. Now, when you activate Avenging Wrath, also known as the Pally Wings, Hammer of Wrath is going to be your big hit. So you want to focus on that and make sure you get to use it as many times as possible. You should get out 3 hammers before your wings fade off. And a third button is Zealotry. I have mine actually macroed to cast Zealotry and Inquisition at the same time. I'll pull up the macro for you. See right here it says /cast Zealotry and then /cast Inquisition. Now Zealotry actually doesn't consume any holy power when you cast it, but you have to have 3 power to cast it. Now, the one thing about having it macroed with Zealotry is you have these global cooldowns, and if you're still waiting on the global cooldown when you hit the Zealotry button, your Inquisition won't fire at the same time. But I also have mine Inquisition button right next to it, just in case. Now, when you activate Zealotry, obviously Crusader Strike and Templar's Verdict are going to take precedence, because we're focusing on damage here. That being said, all the other moves are basically fillers. Now I'm going to show you how I start off my attack run. It'll always be from a distance, because in your talent tree you have Improved Judgment and the Long Arm of the Law. It gives you a speed boost, lets you cover all that ground really fast. Now, first thing I do is I hit Judgment, and then I hit Avenging Wrath, and I throw the hammer as I'm running towards my target. Obviously, when I get to the target, I will circle around behind it. I'll hit Crusader Strike, and then I'll fill in the time. It's currently a 4.4 second cooldown. It means I can cast 2 other spells before my Crusader Strike is ready again. You want to remember that, because Crusader Strike is your staple ability. It's going to hit pretty hard, it's going to do pretty good damage, and that's how you get holy power. Alright, so let's give this a whirl. Pulling just over 10,000 DPS right there. That's with all 3 cooldowns. It's not really my best DPS ever, but you can look at the stats here. Check out critical strikes versus regular strikes. And that's how it's going to vary. I've had critical strikes actually land for between 40 and 50,000 damage. So basically a lot of the DPS you put out is going to be based on your critical chance. That's all I can tell you. You need the best weapon you can find, DPS wise, and more critical chance. That being said, people are probably wondering what seals you should use, things like that. I always use the Seal of Insight because it enables you to have more utility. Seal of Insight means you don't run out of mana. If you don't run out of mana, you always have an option. Seal of Truth, it will increase your DPS, not by, you know, a ridiculous amount, but it will go up probably about 1,000 points. I'm also not exactly spec'd to do maximum DPS because I PvP a lot. But if you were spec'd out to raid, you would probably end up using Seal of Truth because it would do, let's see, a good 12% more damage on base and 7% weapon damage every time you hit somebody. So yeah, it would increase you probably a good 1,000 to 2,000 DPS. But as a PvP player, your mana is a lot more important to you than a few extra points of DPS, and I would love to be able to show some people exactly what I mean. But this video is about DPS, and I will conclude it there.